Okay. So, what I had planned to do with this was just do a study of various maps as Anna and try to figure out
Never stop fighting for what you
what
believe in.
I would do, or what I should be doing, rather. What I would be doing, what I should be doing, are probably two completely separate things. Which is leading me to why I would want to do this. But I'm sorry to hear that, William. I'm doing this live on stream, so I might talk to my chat from time to time. But I plan on posting this to YouTube. Weather's nice and cool. Finally cooled down. Okay, so for point A for Hanamura, what I like to do, let's go up here. I like this because it takes a lot of cooldowns to get over here. I'm out of harm's way, unless I have like a Widowmaker that gets cheeky. But I'm in gold, so I don't have to worry about a Widowmaker actually shooting me. So my main considerations for positioning that I need to keep in mind: escape. Okay, well, be back, William. Escape routes. I always want to escape back towards spawn. It's just in case I get pressured, I can, like, if my team's coming back, then I can, like, rejoin them faster. And also just to run back to spawn to get healing if, you know, I'm not, like, a billion miles away. Access to health packs. So here, I could just drop down here, get this, or in there. Or, you know, obviously I can walk down the stairs, but that's not fun. Because at least down here, I could go back in there and be a little bit safer. See, it gives like a nice line of sight. This is mostly, nobody really comes up here. But you can jerk over here to look. Now, this thing is like my main issue with lines of sight, so I usually try to aim at their feet. I mean, obviously I can't headshot anyway, but this does, unfortunately, with this hard choke and this little, I guess, pagoda roofing thing, I don't know what to call that, does greatly limit my sight, especially since teams like to hold here. So I can never see what the enemy's doing, and I tend to eat my nades like that. Usually hit the shield or nothing. Although I do get some spicy purples in there. Some other things that I've done, obviously when they start coming in, I could rotate this way. However, this does unfortunately cut off my path to spawn, so I try not to do that too often. I usually just stay up here until the very last second. So this isn't ideal, but if you don't want to lose high ground and they're just kind of rotating a little bit, I guess go back and forth. I do not care for that one as much. So then I can just drop back there when I know that the fight's lost. I guess they have a Widowmaker and she's actually getting shots. I can probably come down here and limit my line of sight to just here and just peek out, I guess. Then I got my health pack right here and I can just run over there. Maybe I really don't like this. I mean, because it's kind of a, you would have to come back out here in the open to get this health pack. And you're just exposed for like a whole, like, what, 2 seconds it takes to, like, traverse? So I really don't care for this. I used to do this. I'm dumb. Obviously here is even worse. There's still more danger. This, you can't see shit because of the bell. Well, I guess you can. You know what? If you're gonna have to hold here, for some reason, I Like, if your team's holding on point here, and you don't want to hold up there, because maybe they do have that Widowmaker. I think this would be a little bit more ideal. Because, I mean, it would take more to get here, and plus you're behind everything, so... You could kind of come around this way, but they're probably going to come in this way and cut you off anyway, so... Either way, I wouldn't be up. I would be up. I think this is going to be my best bet. Obviously, this is just fucking stupid. Don't do that. I wouldn't do that. Here, I would say would be super aggro. Honestly, they probably wouldn't expect it. This definitely goes against the philosophy of route of escape and retreating towards your spawn. You're here. Probably be like here. Can't see anything here. This would be... I honestly don't know why you would be here. Honestly. Maybe you rotated around to try to chase some people out. You got the help, which is nice, but like honestly, I don't think you should have been here. During fight on the bell, obviously I would want to stay here, but if I do have to like try to solo hold it, or I wind up getting pushed onto point, obviously I'd like to go up here because people tend to forget you're up here. At least in my ELO. For defense. That I think that is going to be my best bet. Obviously, out of escape, come through here, or around through here, though you get shot. Although it's really easy to forget these things when you're getting shot at. Point B. I tend to hold here. But is that the right decision? One hand, I am as far away from the enemy as I can be. Spawn right here. Sometimes my team likes to go up here, and it takes a while to get up there. And then I have to go through this little tiny choke, which usually they have some dumbass Junkrat spamming down it, or Hanzo, and I get my cheeks clapped. So, I think holding up here... I really... It's hard to see anything, let alone to, like, eat a nade. I don't know if I would really want to be here. I'm trying to think. Honestly, no, because they'll just be spamming down here, and by the time I get through, I really just don't like being in tight chokes like that. I just... Sometimes here, they've got that angle on me. I could cut them off. But I really don't like that. I try to, like, stay behind here, but I wind up getting shot anyways, because I'm an idiot and can't do it right. But at least I have a little bit closer to spawn. Well, I don't like being near this choke, because then bombs could drop down here and get me. Although I still sometimes try to hold here. Hey, Katzen. I will try to hold here sometimes to at least cut this angle off, but then they're gonna try to come down here, so I don't do this very often. But if I do decide to come up the door, I try here. If they got Widowmaker being a jerk up here, I'll just yeah, honestly, there's not really... I mean, I guess you could come up here with team and drop early. I don't particularly like to do this. Unless I know that for a fact that they're coming this way, then I will try to come up here. Just so they don't come near me. But then there's usually like a freaking Genji or Tracer that comes up here and
This will help.
you know, hates on me. So, obviously this is just stupid. I think when I was like a little bronze girl, I used to do this. I didn't play Anna when I played bronze though. Did I? Yeah, I did. I climbed out of bronze to silver with Anna. Just kidding. That was when I dropped really hard. When I stopped playing Mercy and played Widow. I didn't drop because I played Widow. I dropped because I did. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, this is stupid. I'll do that. So, yeah, I'm guessing this is my favorite spot. If anybody has any other ideas about, you know, where I should be versus this, but honestly, this is just. I do get a lot of like Winstons and Genjis, obviously, and Reapers that come this way, and I freak out and whiff my sleeps a lot. I don't know why I freaking do it, but I flick my sleeps, and I'm like, stop. You're an idiot. Don't do that. Then I still do it. Okay. As for attack. Oh, hey, third. I see you. Like I said, anytime if you guys have any other ideas, or you disagree with me completely, because like I said, I only picked plat. Like, depending on which account I have, it goes from like low gold to low plat. So, I tend to like to try to default this way, like simply because most people expect you to come down here, try to see if there's a Widowmaker, and then go in here if they're gonna go in here. By then I'll have probably died and readjusted. It's probably not the best idea. Sometimes, if my team are being bots, I might come up here just to put in extra pressure, simply because DPS isn't doing anything. I'm toxic, I know. I feel like that takes a long time. It takes you out of the fight too long. Although I do get some pretty cheeky nades in here. But it just depends on what, honestly, like, positioning is contextual. So it really depends on which way your team's going. But if your team's going this way, I do like to try to come up this way. Obviously with Anna, she's a sniper. She wants long sight lines and high ground. I also hear you're supposed to be at least one Winston jump away. Unless they have like another flanker, like Genji or Tracer, then you want to be closer to Team Sombra. This, I try to avoid doing, but sometimes I do get in here to do that, or sometimes there's a Torbjorn or something here. This I like never do. This I sure as hell never do. Although I guess you could just, but by then I think you're dead, so that's really dumb. I think the default for going this way is probably like holding this corner. Although it'd probably be that scooter right here. See, I would want to say like behind here, but that leaves this open, and I don't know if I really like that. But I do hold here sometimes. But for the most part, I'm sitting here pumping heals into my Rhine because he's usually standing in the choke like a ding dong and not pressing W. Obviously this is swinging way too wide and you would have to be out in the open, so I do not like to do that. Unless it's an emergency and I need that health pack. Then I try to get this one, but whatever. Yeah, I think this is where I usually tend to go, and then obviously I hide here. Then I kind of go this way. I don't know whether I should go this way. I always freaking go this way, but should I go this way? Probably could, but then I'm closer to their spawn, and I don't know if I want to be closer to their spawn. But it is kind of a cheeky off angle, so you know what? Maybe I do like this more than I thought I did. But there's usually people in here, and I don't want to be in there. So, since they do tend to go this way, I go this way. But if there's nobody in there, then maybe I could try doing that. I have a feeling that I'm gonna get clapped, so maybe if I stick to these like pillars just in case I could block something. Try to use natural cover as much as possible. Of course, at this point, this is where I tend to go in here and do that, but I try to avoid doing that. I'm usually dead by this point anyway, so I'm probably doing something obviously very wrong. So yeah. This is what like I said, this is what I tend to do. Like, stay by this one, but it leaves me really open from people coming from spawn. That's it. Yeah. I do sometimes come up here though. But again, once again, it leaves me really open, but I can get a few cheeky shots in. I have good sight line to come up here, but yeah, I either, depending on how I feel, I either come down here or hide behind those pillars, or I come here. I don't like going around here simply because it takes me out of the fight too long, although it's probably a little safer. And that health pack's right there, but like I said, by the time your team makes it up here, the fight's in full swing, and I'd be basically throwing, I feel. I mean, positioning is very, very important, but so is being with your team. And sometimes getting high ground and being in a quote-unquote good position might not be ideal. Because like I said, context is important. So yeah, I would probably be here. No, whatever. Second point, almost have a teleporter. I don't really go that way. Obviously, I'm Anna. I can't really do anything anyways. Let's see. I avoid this choke as much as possible. Although, if my team's going main, obviously I have to do it. But I obviously stay on the left side. Once they start getting in here, then I come up here. But I usually, like, never go on point, but if I absolutely have to try to, like, you know, touch point, come back, I usually go behind one of these little pillars. I default to this one, even though I probably should default to this one simply because it's closer to that health pack. Either way, you can always fall down here and get this. I heard other footsteps. Maybe I'm going crazy. Okay, but yeah, I always default to this one. I don't know why. This cuts off these sight lines. And usually there's a straggler coming in here for that health. Hit them once or twice and they're dead. That way you can still touch. And if somebody chases you, you can just play ring around Resi and not have to be out in the open too much. I mean, obviously you're going to be out in the open here, but there's one or two people chasing you around. But you still need to be one to touch, like overtime or whatever. I play ring around Resi here a lot. This is like a preferred method that I like. However, they tend to have a lot of Junkrat or Hanzo. And they like to spam down here, which is not ideal. But usually I come up in here, throw a nade, but sometimes hit a shield. But if they're not holding up here, then, you know, they're dumb and free game, right? So, stay up here as long as possible. they start pressuring you up there a little bit, you can probably jump back down here. Still get a few shots in until they start trying to pressure you here. But by then, I mean, you can just drop down. Or you can drop down here and get that and go balls to the wall and point, although that's not ideal. Yeah, so I like stay up here if I can't. Like, if we get pushed off here. Now, if we're coming in this way because of, like, what you call it, teleporter. Obviously, this place is the most ideal. You can come up here, pressure anybody here, even though this kind of cuts off your sightline a little bit, you can still see that there's somebody there. And start hitting people here. Start here. You can just open up the sightline as much as you want. This isn't very ideal, although you can rotate this direction and you get the health pack right here. But it gives you a very limited sightline, I feel. But I guess it also protects your sightline. And I feel like you kind of have to come out here in the open a lot more to be able to see your team, like see the full point. So I don't tend to like this very much. I guess just go and eat an aid, but yeah, but I never come this way, so it doesn't matter. All right, I think that was Hanamura. Oh, hey, Spilo. You'll be lurking? Thank you. Please tell me if I'm wrong or right or whatever, even if you're lurking. This is way overdue. I really struggle with my positioning a lot of times, so I really just needed to, like, actually just think things through. Like, I never do. I just kind of bot out and follow whatever Spilo says to do without really thinking too much why. So really doing this kind of exploration, I think, is just good. That's why I called it a study, because I'm thinking of it in terms of, like, how one would do an art study, being an artist. Amateur, very amateur. You really got to study things, and, like, I'll go through life drawing things and then find out that I can't create something on my own. I can only copy. And I think I'm doing that with my Overwatch, and that's why I wanted to do this, because I really needed to just study it. That's why you do studies in art, because you really got to think about, like, okay, you might just do a hand, and you're sitting there studying, and you're like, you can copy it, but you're not really, you have to get in the mindset to actually, like, oh, okay, so this is like this because this muscle does this, or this curve is here because of this padding. And then you have to think about this in terms of Overwatch. Oh, this sight line is good because you're blocking off this angle, or you can open it up. Or, hey, this Widowmaker can be here, like, how can you, do this? And, like, I really needed to approach it like how I'm trying to do with my art. So that's what kind of inspired me to do this. I guess this one's okay. I do like this. Okay, let's try another map. Horizon Lunar Colony. I think I'll just go through all the assault maps and make that one video, and then I'll do the rest later. Since I plan on playing Widowmaker later today. Honestly, I think with Widowmaker, some of the sightlines are obviously going to be different.
Prepare your defenses. Traveling to Horizon Lunar.
Depending on what kind of sightline you're going.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
What kind of sightline you're trying to get, whether you're going to go aggressive or defensive. Anna, I probably tend to be a little bit more aggressive with my positioning, and that's what gets killed. But I also like to make boss moves, which probably, honestly, I complain about my DPS a lot, but if I feel like they're just not doing enough, I'll pitch in with some damage and go sicko mode on them. So for defense, point A. I personally tend to hold here, around this corner right here. So when the fight first opens up, I try to keep this sight line just in case they come down here, get a few pot shots in until Ryan puts up a shield. If I can get a kill, that's great. I sometimes do get kills, like on a McCree or Junkrat that isn't paying attention, or just isn't respecting the sight line. You can get a good kill here. Really quick shots. Or if the Ryan's a bot and doesn't shield up. As the fight starts moving this way, like obviously I'll still be here, but I can also rotate this way, although I shouldn't do that because this leaves so wide open and I need to quit doing that. Although I have noticed that I've stopped doing that as much. So I tend to stay here, although this thing does kind of block my view. If I feel like I'm safe enough, I could jump up here, although you really shouldn't jump because predictable arcs, etc., etc. This blocks my sight line. So I kind of press A here to strafe a little bit. Get sight line in. I try to hold up here as long as possible. If they start pressuring me, obviously I go down here. If they're still pressuring me, then I have to jump down and go on point. Or if my team is way over here and there's somebody on point almost capping it, which happens more often than I'd like to admit. But normally I like to hold here. Or up here. I usually get uncontested up here more often than I should. Something that probably can get away with in low tiers, but cannot in higher tiers. In plat, I get punished up here, but in silver and gold, I don't. I tend to. So, the thing with these stairs is, they can't really see you up here, but you still have some sort of high ground. You can get over a shield. You could open up this sight line as much as you want and close it off. You could also close this sight line by just backing up, so it's got some good verticality and horizontal properties that I like. If some Genji's being a skank, then I can go. Oh yeah, I was supposed to call my mom. Oops. I can back up this way, go get this guy right here, but then I'm out in the open and I usually die. But if I'm getting pushed back this far and my team isn't helping me, it's pretty much game over anyway. But like, I'll try to go get that, or just come back here, which I really shouldn't be doing, probably, but sometimes you just need to. But I try to stay in the back. Yeah. So this is okay, I guess, if you know they're all here. This kind of leaves you open up on the side. You have to do a full, like... What? What is my sensitivity right now? Okay. Have to do like full, like, 90-degree turn, and that's kind of awkward on your wrist. Probably wrist aim more than I should. I'm trying to get out of the habit. I feel like this one's kind of better for like in the fight when everybody's on point, simply because like it cuts off the sight line and that sight line. But if they're coming this way, obviously, like, dude, I don't know. I don't like this one as much. It's just too open and not the right ways. So I guess if I have to go from here to here, I'd go here, because then it's only like the one side. Well, two sight lines. My preferred method of madness is a stair. Right around here. Not enough to where I get a headshot from somebody up there, but until they get like right here, but it's enough to be like right here. Get some good. Whatever. obviously, if you're on the attacker side, like over here, that's just freaking stupid. Although, I guess if you had to drop and, like, get some shots in here, but you need to be not there. Alright, point B. What I tend to do, come up here. Like I said, I always want to try to be at least one Winston jump away. You really want them to use their cooldowns to get to you, right? Because then they can't escape once your team, in theory, you know, comes to back you up. Because, I mean, they've used their cooldown to get to you. But if nothing else, that would at least discourage them. Because, I mean, most people aren't going to be willing to use up all their cooldowns just to attack some man on the back line and leave themselves completely up to the enemy team. But like I said, this is gold, so YOLO. See, I like this because you could open this up, close it as much as you want. Sticking to this corner. So you can keep these things completely closed up. So in case there's like a Widowmaker or being a skank, you can just shoot right here. Obviously, I mean, if she's right here. If she's right here, then you should probably be getting down. Well, I find that Widowmakers aren't really your duel. I can get away with at least getting a couple kills on her. Because, I mean, I have like 100-something hours in Widow, and I'm better than them. Even as Anna. So, regardless, this is good. I like this one. Obviously, being anywhere else out here is stupid because you have no cover. Obviously, if you have to drop. I like this box because once again, you can open this up as wide as you want. Although, like, it prefers main, or you could go here and get science room and write. Then you're kind of exposed a little bit going back and forth, but you do have this here. You also have spawn right here. So these are my two faves. These are my three spots. I stay here. If I ever have to like rotate around for any reason, I will come here. Although this is very, very risky. But if you got Doomfist, it would just want you really bad. I'll try to stay here. I mean, it'd be hard to shoot down here anyway. And usually they're rotating this way. If the Doomfist is chasing me this way, usually they're already rotating this way. So I wanted to be away from them as possible, and I still have spawn right here, so I will stick down here. So like I said, this isn't really ideal because they tend to come this way. If you want to be an aggressive, cheeky cunt like I tend to do, I actually sometimes go up this way. Like I said, if I don't feel like DPS is doing enough and I want to be super aggro, although like I said, this isn't ideal and probably why I'm gold, and not higher. But sometimes I like to go hard in the paint and just fucking snipe up here. That's no good. No. Then just drop down. And then like run frantically this way. Get a few shots in. Get healed up. Maybe get some good sightline here. This is nice. I like this too, although I never use it. Like, I literally never use this. Although, I guess if you're frantic, this is okay, because, I mean, you have this cover. But you can still get green room here. Or science room, rather, and catwalk. But, like I said, I prefer here. That works for me. Here is really risky, because you run... You're gonna come in here, but you do have Mega here. But if you get pressured, I mean, this gives you a nice sightline of this. You can only ever fall back here, but if you're getting pressure from this side, 1, 2, 3, about 3 to 4 seconds before you can get behind cover. By then, you're basically already dead, so I don't think that's a really wise choice. Obviously, if I'm being an absolute moron and get chased around and rotated to this side, yeah, I mean, I still just hide these things, but I'm basically dead, so anything else, basically just fucking stupid. Car is insanely risky, because look, you have to, like, another 3 or 4 seconds before you can cover. That's just dumb. Don't do that. Alright, so I think my preferred spots are honestly kind of okay. Like I said, if anybody has any objections or comments, concerns, whatever about what I said about my positioning just then, then by all means, let me know. I am learning, not only as a player, but as an amateur coach, which I haven't really been coaching lately. I need to get back on that. Okay, so if you're going left, if you know your team's going left, obviously I'll try to get high ground. If I can, if I think about it. I'm really bad about thinking about it. But if you know ahead of time that they're going to go left, and they've communicated that in chat, then I will go up. I will, there's like an exit up here. I just come up here, get a few shots in, and then, you know, drop down to where Ryan is, and then obviously just following your team. Try to take as much cover as possible. Sideline. Mad jump here. This health pack. You can also go up here, although I feel like this takes way too much time to get to. If your team's really pushing and they want to go on point, coming up here by yourself is stupid, but I like coming up this way as a team. You can get your team to come up here. This is my preferred route, and usually what I instruct my team to do, like coaching and stuff. I like coming up here because then you can pressure them off high ground. You can rotate them this way. You can pressure them up here, and then they have to come to you to go to point. But by then you've already put enough pressure on them. You can kill them up here, or they can come this way. But then by the time you're done pressuring them, you can just drop down on point. So either way, I like coming this way as a team. However, coming this way as an individual when your team is rushing is not good. So, if you know you're coming this way, just go with them. And of course, as I said, there's a brawl going out on point. Even on offense, I tend to take the stairs. Or, if I can help it, I can come up here too. But yeah, if we come this way, I tend to go stairs. Obviously watching my back, someone died and is respawning, but more often than not, if I can get in a position here, we basically already won. So, that's a good position. I love those stairs, they're really good. Obviously, coming here is okay, but you're leaving yourself way too open. To all these sightlines. Plus you want to be as high as possible, so even just up these stairs is more ideal. Obviously this is going to block your head from anything on the left. You just have to deal with these two. Space, if somebody's coming through space, but this is just dumb. This is just dumb. Because, I mean, while you can use it to block some, I mean, but McCree could be up here shooting down at you. I used to hold here when I was bronze, but that was because I was bronze. Like this is just, I mean, this is just silly. I mean, look at this. I mean, you have all this sightline and this sightline. It takes 1, 2, well, really 3.5 seconds to get your head under cover. Because even if you come through here, your body's under cover, but your head's gonna get shot. So 3.5 seconds to get your head to cover going this way. It's moronic. So if you're coming this way, and we know ahead of time where we're going, I will try to come up here with Widowmaker or Hanzo, whatever. Probably a bad choice, but at least I can support my Widow. See if there's anybody up here. If not, they're usually back here or on point. Get a few cheeky shots in, and then drop down to Rhine, probably trying to usher everybody through. And obviously, I'm gonna go here if I'm going low ground. Because a lot of time, especially like in ladder, they're not gonna tell you which way they're gonna go. Even if they're in voice chat, they're not gonna wanna comms. So, you kind of have to go with the flow. So if I do that, I'll have to be here. So here, then I'm rushing in here. Here. I'd rush here. Although I don't know. This is even a preferred route. Like I really don't like this because usually up here, like my entire sight line of my team's gonna be ahead of me, right? The entire sight line of the team is gonna be cut off. I think at this point, you might as well just go Moira and throw out Orban. But then there's gonna be a Junkrat or a Hanzo spamming down here, so you're basically screwed anyway. So that's why I really do not like going right. But sometimes you just can't help what the tank's gotta do, what the tank's gonna do. So come through here. I try to voluntarily cut off as much sightline to them as possible. Then I'll come up here and throw a nade if I feel like people are. But by the time I've gotten up here, we were already basically dead. So I really don't like going right. So if we actually make it, then I tend to hide around here until I get that dash. If they've already retreated back here, then I'll hold this corner. Just support the bra from here, and if they get over here and I can't really see, then obviously I'll have fuck off. Alright, then I'll try to keep the corner. I'll go here, although I don't really like it as much. And then I tend to go here, which I probably should not do. Very risky. So I probably should be not doing that. Let's see. I mean, I like to stay here as much as possible, but like, I tend to like brawl in this corner and it sucks. So I mean, what can I do? Like, that's literally all I can do. But I feel like if they're getting cornered right here, they're basically dead anyway, and I don't know if I really want to support them. It just depends on the situation. We'll have to see. Coming down this way, like, my teams have been doing that a lot lately. I don't know why. I guess because they really don't like this choke either, which is fine. But if we're coming through here, obviously we're gonna need shielded. That's like wide open. Here. Up here. See. Then it's kind of like mad dash. I don't really care for this at all. So then they usually start jumping out this window and attacking us from behind. I really just want this. But Ryan's gonna do what Ryan wants to do, so. If anybody has any more suggestions about what to do when they get cornered up here, by all means. I really don't know. What to do there. But yeah, I'll try to stay here. I tend to come up in here more often than I should, and that leaves me wide open and I get killed. I should not do that. I need to be cognizant of that. So I'm going to hold up here more often. And obviously, if we pushed them back far enough, I'll get cheeky up here. Shoot this Hanzo that's usually up here. Alright, so if we're going right, I need to be more cognizant of how I'm getting here, although most people are usually backed up on a point, but sometimes they're not. So I need to be aware of this. This gets me killed more often than I like, so let's see. Can't see me here, really, so... Guess I can just hug this. Obviously, if they're up here... Do this, although I really don't like looking up ramps towards my team. So... here, I guess, but I feel like that leaves me a little far away, because when they start dropping, I'm gonna be out of the fight for, what was that, 5 seconds? Before I could, you know, get a sight on them again, so I really don't think I want to do that. I'll probably just stick to the stairs, I guess. Need to practice quick scoping. Hanzo in here. Should be dueling a Hanzo anyway, it's not my job, but sometimes it is my job, unfortunately. It gets people coming out of spawn here, people hanging out here. Usually see Moiras coming out here for some reason, I don't know why. Being like right here is entirely too open, although I do tend to do that. I need to stop. But always retreat here. See, I can't see my team if I'm right here, so I have to get in this risky position, and I do this a lot. I tend to like rotate this way, and I'm like way out in the open. Although I do kind of will want to go here, because I still get a good sight line, but usually it cuts off sight line to this Widow or Hanzo that's usually up here, or other Ana. Then I have the whole right side. It's just like really open, and I don't know if there's any real good place to be up here. That said, if anybody has anything else to say, by all means. AD strafing. I need to use my crouch more. I do. Yeah, because usually they're up here. Let's make everybody depends over here. Guess if we're going main. Okay, we should not be going down here. But if your team wants to be dumbasses, obviously if they're going behind buggy, then do this. But if they're not, just gradually open this up. However, because it's an enclosed space, you get wrecked by Junkrat a lot here. Although I guess it's not horrible to hold here. Like if you're holding up here, I guess you could drop down here and go in here. Although it is kind of a mad dash to come out here to get this health pack. So but like you can open it up, close it as much as you want. Obviously holding buggy itself is freaking stupid. Unless you were getting pressured out of there by Genji and you're trying to rotate around. But I think at this point you're basically dead anyway. So just embrace it. Call for a regroup. Main, obviously you're gonna want to approach probably from this corner because it's closer to your spawn. Hanzo, up here, Widow. Widow's here. Just kind of open this up a little bit, but close to the corner. Just want to be in here as much as possible. I tend to come up here more often than I should. I mean, this gives you a little bit better visibility, but you're kind of exposed for a couple seconds while you're adjusting your position, and that's when you get killed. Plus, you're closer to the enemy, which probably isn't ideal. It's not like your team are going anywhere, they're just going to be right here. So I need to stop doing that, just hang out here. And then 2 seconds to get over here. If they rotate, usually they're so busy shooting on points, they're not going to be after me anyway, so I need to hold these more often. I keep holding these and that's not working out for me. I need to hold these. Specifically this one. Okay. Let's see, this one. I don't like coming here because this leaves me exposed from here and here. But if your team's going that way, obviously just try to take as much cover as possible. Run really quick. Get right here. Putting science room. Guess if your team is going to come in this way, obviously. Usually there's a brawl here and I always die. Probably go in there faster than I should. I should probably stay out here more often than not until they start going around here. I tend to just rush in and get killed. So I need to not. However, by the time I'm here, sometimes enemies come through science room. So miss my with my sleep brother and then die. Whatever. Guess you could just kind of open this up as much as possible, but then you have the sightline from this Honda that most of them tend to stay here, so we're gonna get most direct sightline on them. You're gonna be mostly shooting at the shield, I think. You're not really gonna get an angle, so I feel like maybe you could if you came here, but then that just leaves you completely open here. So I don't really like this side as much. Although I do tend to like going in the science room as a team. Mostly because nobody ever does. It's probably a reason to do that. I either go up here, up top, or here. But at least this, I mean, it gives us a little bit of harder choke, but which we could get spammed down, but a few corners you could hold. No. I feel like, you know what, I don't know if I really like this much. It takes too long to get behind cover once you get pressured back here. Then you're leaving your back exposed here. But there is a mega. I guess if you're coming in as a team, I mean, because usually, like, Orisa will hold up here. And she'll have to rotate and adjust to deal with you. You have the mega here. And if she does rotate here, like tends to happen, you can get nice close sight line on her. Although you're not going to be able to get any off angles, probably just chuck a cheeky right there and get it over the shield. So, okay. I think basically anything else is just stupid unless you want to have to touch, just like on Hanamura, and you need to touch, but still stay behind cover and dance this hole here. either or, depending on which way we're coming from. I tend to go over there more often than not. Yeah, that's it for Heisling Fault. Nope. My throat is getting really dry from talking. I'll go to Paris. This one's new, so I'm going to be not as familiar.
Welcome to Paris.
I think I'm gonna start and stop my recording just because it's already an hour long.